Dominicans! Woo! 5 more years! Labor! Hey! Brothers and sisters, good night to you. Labor rights from all over, good night to you. Moonbawi, good night to you. The labor rights from Coolibby Street, Salisbury, Monrachet, Grand Savan, good night to you. Brothers and sisters, tonight we must put our big hands off to the men who were able to move us from the trouble in Salisbury and come here to Vegas tonight. Our technical team did an amazing job to have us here tonight. Brothers and sisters, fellow laborites, let me tell you, what happened tonight was no mistake. What happened tonight was an act of desperation. An act of desperation by a few, just a few. Let me tell you that last week I spoke at a meeting at Meta Salisbury with Lindsay. I spoke with the candidate for Salisbury. I spoke with the next paragraph for Salisbury in the middle of Salisbury. And you know what? I felt at home. I felt at home in Salisbury last week with Lindsay. The people of Salisbury expressed love, appreciation, and warmth. Tonight, we have a few desperate men stringing on, hanging on by straws, and trying to hold power. But tell them no way. Tell them no way. Tell them no way. The wave of labor is here and is here to stay. The wave of labor is here and is here to stay. Brothers and sisters, last week when I spoke in Salisbury, it reminded me of my days in Salisbury with my political idol and hero, Rosie Douglas. Let me tell you, when Rosie was Rosie, Rosie would campaign in Salisbury all the time. It's because Rosie understood that the people of Salisbury are strong people, that the people of Salisbury are revolutionary people, that the people of Salisbury have a power and a zeal to work and work hard. Brothers and sisters, when Rosie was fighting his days, back then, in the days of the World Mataba, every year, Rosie would go to Salisbury and have African Liberation Day. And I went with him. People like Francis went with him. And we all went with him. And so as he understood that in Salisbury, there was a strong root of labor. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you, they think that they are strong in Salisbury, but that is not the case. Education 101. Education 101. Salisbury supported labor. Salisbury was with labor. In 1980, when labor was fragmented into 3 sections, so labor ended up losing Salisbury by 16 votes, 1-6. Labor had 3, Freedom had 1, and Labor lost Salisbury by 16 votes. We went on in 85, and we continued, and again we lost by the same number. But Labor was divided, and that is how UWP came onto the scene. In those days, they called us in the mid-80s Labor Powder. They called us Labor Powder, and the people of Salisbury felt that, our party was weak. Our party could not make it. Our party could not take us to the promised land. They said Mike like Mike, and they said Charles Maynard was Ian Power, and Eugenia was somebody else, Nenen, and therefore the people of Salisbury left their party and went to workers when they were formed. That is how workers ended up having Salisbury. Salisbury belonged to labor. If you look at the charts of Salisbury for election in Salisbury, you would see when workers was formed, their votes went like that, and labor went like that. Inverse, in the opposite direction. But ever since the first election in Salisbury, after workers' law won, workers had less and less votes. So the chart showed you that workers went like that, and then like that on the way down. Labor went like that, and then like that on the way up. So the charts were moving. The charts were getting closer and closer every single election. So we knew that Salisbury was coming back to labor. Salisbury was coming back to labor, and the time to cross the time for the church to cross and Salisbury to come back home is now. Under the person with Lindsay Frank and those who felt that they are desperate. Come on, Sparks. Who is Sparks? Who is Sparks? Sparks understands clearly that his days in politics are no more. And therefore, he organized a group of thugs to tarnish the reputation, the name, and the image of Salisbury. But Salisbury people supported Labour because Salisbury understood that Labour built the West Coast Road. Salisbury people supported Labour when Labour took over the estates in Baffin State and gave to the people in Baffin State. Salisbury supported Labour when Labour took the land in Castle Bruce and gave to the people in Castle Bruce. Salisbury supported Labour when Labour took the land in Glenville and Picard and gave to the workers of the estates. Salisbury supported Labour. And therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, Salisbury people know that the Labour then is the same Labour now. Labour then is the same Labour now, and they have been coming back home. Aisha Didai Blanc. Aisha Didai Blanc. You don't like the dog, but say its teeth is white. Salisbury people have seen what Labour has delivered. Labour has delivered a new West Coast Road, $100 million. Labour has delivered houses all over Dominica. Labour has delivered a new stadium for us. Labour has delivered the Kempinski. Labour has delivered so much. The roads in the valley, the road to Scott Sufrier, the road to Grand Bay. Labour has delivered all over Dominica. UWP and the thugs know that Salisbury is coming home. And they know that the arms of Labour is wide open to welcome them like the prodigal son. Like the prodigal son, Salisbury is coming back to Labour, and they know that. And they're afraid. They're afraid. They're afraid. That is why they threaten the people of Labour today. But tell them, those days are numbered. Those days are numbered. Lindsay Frank will be the next pal rep next Wednesday. Brothers and sisters, and Lindsay Frank is coming to serve. She is a nice lady, a wonderful person, a loving person. Lindsay Frank is not looking for a job. Lindsay Frank, as a matter of fact, was working in the Ministry of Health, and she just got a scholarship to do a PhD at the University of Miami in epidemiology. Not somebody looking for a job. She's no Sprags. She's no Sprags, John. She's somebody of substance, somebody of worth, somebody who is engaged and embraced by the people of Salisbury, and they know that. Brothers and sisters, tonight we are here. We should have been in Salisbury, but we are here in Vieille, at the home of Labour, at the home of our Prime Minister. But the people of Salisbury are listening, and the people of Salisbury will vote for Lindsay Frank come next Tuesday, December 6th. Labour! Labour! Labour!